They called him a thief, a man who stole millions from the company that trusted him most. But what they didn't know, what no one cared to find out, was that Bayo was innocent. He didn't just lose his job, he lost his freedom, his reputation, and nearly his mind. This is the story of Bayo, a story of loyalty, betrayal, and justice long delayed. Bayo would soon realize how easy it is for the whole world to turn against him on an unproven suspicion that he was a thief. And this simple act will cost him his world. Bayo Aderemi was 32. His boss, Mr. Adekunle, admired him, or so it seemed. A powerful man, always sharply dressed, with connections deep in politics and business. Adekunle had a charisma that drew people in, but Bayo sensed a subtle coldness behind his smiles. Still, he trusted him. After all, this was the man who gave him opportunities when many others had doubted him. Bayo Aderemi, a quiet, disciplined man from Ibadan, now working in Lagos as an administrative officer at Lexus Build Limited, one of the top construction firms in the country. Everyone knew Bayo as the man who never took shortcuts, the one who stayed behind to finish his reports even after everyone had gone home. His boss, Mr. Adekunle, admired him. Also, it seemed, a powerful man, always sharply dressed, with connections deep in politics and business. He often called Bayo my right hand. But behind that smile, there was something darker: greed, fear, and a secret that would soon destroy everything. Bayo's life outside work was simple. He shared a modest apartment with his wife, Mariam, and their two children, Toby and Sadi. Weekends were reserved for family time. Sometimes trips to Lekki Beach or evenings cooking together at home. Life was far from extravagant, but it was content, fulfilling, and safe. Or so he thought. One Friday evening, after everyone had gone home, Mr. Adekunle stayed behind. He wasn't finishing reports. He was moving money, millions, from company accounts into a web of secret transfers. The digital trail led through one unsuspecting name, Bayo Aderemi. By Monday morning, chaos erupted. The company's system flagged major losses. The directors demanded answers, and Bayo, being the accounts officer, was the first on the list. "Sir, I don't understand," Bayo stammered as they questioned him, but no one listened. By the end of the day, police arrived. He was handcuffed in front of his colleagues, humiliated and speechless. The newspapers called him the office thief. His neighbors turned away. His children's schoolmates whispered. He was handcuffed in front of his colleagues, humiliated and speechless. In a world where guilt travels faster than truth, Bayo was already condemned. Prison was a nightmare. The first night, the cell was cold and damp. He could hear the distant screams and coughs echoing through the corridors. Fellow inmates eyed him suspiciously, sensing his discomfort. Every day felt endless, a test of endurance and faith. He wrestled with depression as his family and friends began to drift back from him. They were all convinced he had stolen and completely mistook his late night walks and unavailability for events and get together for the perfect reason he would steal from the company. His wife saw this as an opportunity to brand him an absent father and husband who cares more about his work than his family. He had reminded her that he had to work so hard because her siblings and parents became his responsibility when he got married to her. Months passed. Letters to the board were ignored. Mariam visited only once, her eyes brimming with tears. Toby and Said sent drawings that went unread, untouched, gathering dust on a concrete shelf. Outside, Adekunle lived freely, wealthier than before, flaunting his success at exclusive parties and corporate gatherings. Prison was a nightmare. He slept on cold concrete, surrounded by men who had given up on hope. He wrote letters to the board, to his wife, to anyone who might believe him. But months turned into years. His wife stopped visiting. His children stopped writing. Outside, Adekunle lived freely, wealthier than before. Bayo realized that justice wasn't blind. It was bought, but he refused to die in silence. He found strength in books, learning the law, helping other inmates write petitions. Soon he became so cherished and loved by all inmates because he genuinely cared for them. Every night he whispered to himself, "One day the truth will come out." Then came Tumisi Adeyemi, a young investigative journalist working on corruption in private companies. She stumbled upon Bayo's file. Something didn't add up. The evidence looked wrong. Dates didn't match. Witness signatures were forged. Tumis decided to meet Bayo in prison. After explaining his own side of all events leading to his imprisonment, Tumi sighed. "Sir," she said softly through the bars, "I believe you." Those 4 words reignited his spirit. Tumis began digging deeper. She interviewed former employees, uncovered hidden accounts, and found proof of laundered funds. Every thread led back to Adekunle. The evidence was overwhelming. The deeper she dug, the more dangerous it became. Adekunle became aware of all the effort Tumis was taking to expose through his spies at the prison and became furious. He placed a call to have her eliminated before she uncovers the truth, but they assured him it won't be possible as she was the daughter of a prominent figure in the country. This made him very angry as he decided to take matters into his own hand and have Bayo eliminated instead in the prison to make it look like an accident. But unfortunately, Bayo had won the hearts of all inmates and no one would dare bring any hand to him including the prison guards. Bayo relived the betrayal over and over, but this time he wasn't powerless. Together, he and Tumis devised a plan to gather irrefutable evidence. They reached out to hackers who could trace transactions, whistleblowers who feared Adekunle, and even former auditors who had been bribed to stay silent. Tumis confronted him in his office. "You think you can bring me down?" Adekunle sneered. "I own this system." But arrogance was his downfall. The recordings Tumis captured went viral. Social media erupted. People demanded justice. Bayo's story spread across the nation. For the first time in years, his name was spoken, not with shame, but with sympathy. After 5 long years, Bayo's case was reopened. The evidence showed his innocence beyond doubt. The judge's words echoed through the courtroom. "Mr. Aderemi, you are free to go." Bayo fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. He was free. Adekunle was arrested and sentenced. But for Bayo, justice came too late to heal all wounds. His wife had remarried. His children barely recognized him. Still, he forgave, because bitterness would only chain him again. Today, Bayo runs the Freedom Within Foundation, helping innocent inmates get a second chance. His message is simple: don't wait for the system to be fair. Be the voice that makes it fair. He founded the Freedom Within Foundation, dedicated to helping innocent inmates get a second chance. He traveled across Nigeria, speaking at prisons, universities, and community events. His story inspired countless others to fight for justice. Bayo rebuilt his life, slowly reconnecting with his family and finding peace in helping others. He met new friends who shared his values, and through to Tumis's continued support, he saw the world not as cruel and unyielding, but as a place where truth could triumph if one refused to give up. In time, he found love again, as he saw Tumis not just as a friend or an guardian angel at his time of need, but also someone who was extremely passionate as he was about social justice and equity for all men. Their relationship blossomed into a power and influential one, and 2 years after, they got married and had twin babies. All was finally in place. Bayo connected with his daughters from his first marriage a year after and made efforts to be active in their lives. In a world where power often silences truth, Bayo's story reminds us justice may sleep, but it never dies. And sometimes the smallest acts of courage, a voice raised in truth, a pen wielded against corruption, are enough to change lives forever.